I also come from a consulting background, so I know how much, it's a business of timing and availability, right?
Yeah.
So at the same time, you're hiring very eager, hungry people, motivated people that have this kind of great balance of technical skill and interpersonal kind of client relations. How do you balance kind of career progression, desire to grow within the company, and kind of grow yourself and your team with, I've got this client that just needs this thing, right? How do you balance those things? Because I would imagine career development is such a big thing for your people. How is that? How are you kind of addressing that?
Yeah, no, it's a really good point because they sometimes are at odds, right? They sometimes conflict. And we have an engineer who has been doing this one thing for a while and he's awesome at it. So we're like, great, you're the guy to solve that problem. But he wants to learn something else that's related and he can absolutely do it. And so those things are at odds. And we have to make a decision at some point. And it's ultimately, we value growth. And so what it's going to come down to in that case is, we'll have to go to the client and say, okay, this person's going to roll off and we're going to have someone else roll on. And then we'll move him, into a place where he can, learn and train and then do that new thing.
Yeah.
Really, okay. And the reality is if we don't do that, we'll lose him. Right. And so we're working right now. There's absolutely career progression, but it's not like written down. And so what we're actually working on is, okay, what is that career path? What are the levels? What do we call them?
Right.
Where can you go? And there's like kind of 3 options. And then what are the things that you need to achieve to hit that? How do you know that you've hit this next level? Right.
Right.
Right now it's more intuition. But that kind of makes people uneasy. They're like, well, I don't know if my idea of this is equal to your idea. And often it doesn't match up. So the first step is literally just to write it down. And we'll be rolling that out soon so that people can see what their career path is and know what it takes to get there.
Yeah, I love that you're leading with the value of, like, you're leading with your values, right? You value growth. So that's going to be the compass for your decision. I think that's great. That's the Foxbox way. I love it. And I think that, you're right. It could be very subjective on saying, hey, I'm a senior. No, you're not a senior. Like, what does that actually look like? And having those, competencies and expectations, I think, will help that for sure. But I just love the idea of, your values and you stick with that. And even if it requires you to have a tough conversation with the customer, you'll do that because that's what you stand for. No, that's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's the action behind, saying that I value personal growth, that's the action behind it. Willing to say no to a client in order to support that.